So, you're mad at me.
I don't want to talk about it, Laura.
So you're just gonna give me the silent treatment? Like, what does that solve, Calvin?
I don't want to argue.
Okay, I don't want to argue either. Okay, so let's not argue. Let's just talk.
You know, communication is key in all forms of relationships, not just romantic, but I mean in terms of friends, co-workers, and well, just everyday life. The ability to communicate, but I think more importantly, the ability to comprehend and communicate, are just they're things that go hand in hand with each other. Essentially, you have people who know how to communicate effectively and healthy in how they do it, while there are other people who are like, they only communicate to be heard, and they want to make sure that their stance on something or their opinion is understood. They could care less of the other person if their feelings and thoughts are even considered. So with Laura, I mean, this episode just kind of proved it. If to no one else, because I feel like the majority of the fan base already knows how Laura is, and she's gotten to the point where she has a victim mentality, refuses to take accountability, and on top of that, being unwilling to meet anyone halfway. That's pretty much her demeanor. And with Calvin, I think it goes deeper than just the fact that he needs Miranda and Laura to quote unquote get along and be civil for the sake of co-parenting. It's the fact that anything, any subject, any topic of discussion that is brought to Laura, it's going to end in some form of an argument where she's going to fly off the handle and either leave the room or do what she did a few episodes ago, pack her bags and just, say that she's going to leave because she doesn't want to do it anymore. I think Calvin, if nothing else, he should be opening his eyes to the fact that I feel like I'm going through deja vu. The things that happened with Miranda to some extent are happening now with Laura, mainly in terms of it seems like one of us is trying to make an effort while the other one isn't. And it it's like a seesaw. Sometimes there's more weight on one side than the other, where one person just wants to let go. The other person tries to, hold them down to keep them grounded so they don't go anywhere. And I think that Laura always blowing up, with that evil temper, that's going to cause a whole lot of friction to the point where just even having a brief discussion about, hey, where do you want to eat for dinner, could turn into some sort of argument. I don't know. It just seems like at this point, Calvin can't win in terms of with Laura specifically. I think that if, let's say, Calvin said, hey, my parents are having dinner, you want to come? I don't think she'd go. I just feel like something would go down where she would go, and then what if Miranda's there and it's kind of a slap in her face because Ella could be like, well, you said that Miranda isn't welcome in your home, but she's welcome in mine. It's just something slick like that. I feel like communication is key to any relationship, and I don't think Calvin and Laura have it anymore. Not to, take it to another show, but it's how I felt about Zach and Fatima for quite some time in Sisters and Zatima, where in the past their communication wasn't perfect, but it was a heck of a lot better than it is nowadays. But hey, those are just my thoughts. I just think that at this point, Calvin, he's just too through. He knows what's the point of having a discussion if we're just going to argue. And by argue, I mean you're the one who's going to, get a nasty temper and go off and then try to act like nothing happened. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because I think if nothing else, the more that he and Laura fight, the faster he's going to run back to Miranda. And I don't mean in a romantic sense, but it goes back to the whole situation about Calvin Jr., where it was whether or not he was going to Houston with his mom. And after Laura just said, well, what's so bad about that? You co-parent and that's his mother. And he immediately dismissed her and went right to Miranda. So yikes. But with that being said, that's all I have to say, and I'll catch you all in the next video.